My name is Alex, and I'm a Toyaholic. If you saw the previous installment in this video series, it was primarily about blue snaggletooth and the Sears Cantina. However, for one photo that I needed to convey the loss of my original 4 Cantina alien figures, I really wanted to use my regular Kenner Cantina. My Cantina. That's an interesting choice of words because when I went looking for it, all that I initially found was the base. So, cardboard backdrop was not with it. Doors and door frame were not with it. Now this had been on a shelf since pretty much we moved into this house, 2005, 2006. And kind of at the back, lots of stuff in front of it. So when I dug my way back there to it, I was like, where's everything else that's supposed to go with this? I found a box that contained 3 or 4 more of the bases. And one thing that was always wrong with mine as a kid was this little tab never stuck up far enough to actually keep the Cantina doors closed like it was supposed to. So while I'm shifting things around, I was like, well, which one has the best stickers on it? Ironically, mine from childhood had the best stickers from all the ones to choose from, but I did replace that piece with one from another one, and it's just sort of snapped in there. This piece on top holds that piece on the bottom in place, and you could see that it was now sticking up much further than the other one. Well, also in that box was a Ziploc baggie containing a grand total of 5 doors. 3 of one side, 1 of the other, and it contained 3 door frames. One of them with no labels on it, one of them with labels that had been taped back on, so that's mine from the 70s. You can see a piece of Scotch tape there, piece of Scotch tape here, and then, I don't know when I got this, but there was a door frame that had its original labels on it in very, very pristine condition. Also in that box was this rubber band that had to have been in there for at least 15 years. I don't think it's the original from 1978. I think I replaced it at some point, but it really works. It really does the trick. So, it was a sort of an exercise in how did I do this before? I don't remember how to put these doors together. And I've found as I start handling these things for the first time in years, little memories come back of doing it before. And the more I handle it, I talked in the previous videos about neurons firing and synapses connecting that haven't connected in a while. One day I was going through a box of stuff and I found 2 partial mini rigs. And I thought, well, okay, I'll put this one over here, I'll put that one over there. And then as I was sifting and sorting, my brain just goes, well, I should really put this MTV7 with the MLC3. How do I remember that? Didn't remember it a couple minutes before when I first laid eyes on them, but holding them in my hands, moving them around, I actually, accessed a part of my brain that I have not accessed in a very long time, such as putting these doors back in, which sometimes it's tricky, sometimes you can get it. I think I got it. So, and then when you push down on that tab with an action figure's foot, it makes the doors open. Mine never worked that good back in the day. Then, in yet another box, and this took quite a bit of sifting and sorting, I did find 2 cardboard backdrops to choose from. This is the one that I used in the photo, which has a wrinkle right across the band members' heads. There's a second one in there, which has good band members, but a wrinkle across these guys that look like the Duros. So, and when I tried them out, this one fit in the groove better, and you don't see any white of the print when it's in the groove. But this one, little edge of white showing over here. So for the photos in the previous video, I opted to go with this. But I think this is my original, maybe, possibly. If so, it's in amazing condition considering the condition that some of my other items are in. So maybe this was my original. I can't tell. Also in there, I found at least 2 attempts at printing my own. So this one is on cardstock and has never been folded. This one is on just regular paper, thinner paper, and it's 2 taped together. And it has been, you know, had the curve put in it and everything. So, I don't know. I don't remember when I did that. But we'll say this is my cardboard backdrop. We'll say that this is my base and my stickers. It is. And that one mechanism in the floor isn't my original. The doors were the best looking 2 out of the 5 I had to choose from. Who knows if they're my originals. And the door frame is not my original. The rubber band is not original. So it becomes a real Ship of Theseus argument at this point. Is this really mine from the 70s or not? Another thing I noticed in that previous video that the white pegs on the Sears Cantina had silver paint on them from places that I had put the spray painted boots of the blue snaggletooth, and there's at least 3 on here, so I'll have to clean those. I did successfully clean it off the white after that video was shot. It just took a little bit of Goo Gone and a Q-tip. I'll have to do that to this as well. So now then, we've got blue snaggletooth. We can put him in here. I'll put him on one of the pegs that he's already got silver paint onto. And here's Walrus Man. I always like to put him right there at the bar because that's the mechanism that when you turn that handle, another piece in the floor pops up so Ben Kenobi can kill Walrus Man with his lightsaber. So that was always his position. I always liked to put Hammerhead as the bartender. I don't know why. That was just my thing as a kid. And then Greedo, you've got to put him over here in the little table area for Han Solo to shoot him. Another mechanism there, same in the floor, just like before. And then Red Snaggletooth, you know, just usually hangs out on these steps down here. So you really only had 5 aliens to put in this thing? I always thought it looked a little sparse. So recently, I bought this guy, and specifically because of a book from the 70s. Now this is the Star Wars album. Loved this book as a kid. My original fell to pieces. Is held together with, you know, very yellowed tape. This is actually a replacement that I bought last year, and in some places the cover of it is not in that great a condition. There's some like white stuff there, some fading right here, but at least it's, you know, holding together. So right here, you've got a double page of previous movie monsters that they felt had influenced the Cantina scene. So you got Boris Karloff up there as Frankenstein's monster. You've got Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman. You've got the Metaluna mutant from This Island Earth. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And you've got the creature from the Black Lagoon. Also this guy from The Outer Limits. And then a picture from a John Wayne Montgomery Clift movie called The Searchers. I have to see if my wife's got that among her collection of movies. So I remembered the Metaluna mutant, and as soon as Reaction Super 7 brought out this guy in the classic 5-point of articulation style, I was like, this guy's got to go in my Cantina. Another recent purchases, Cornelius as an astronaut from the Super 7 Reaction Planet of the Apes line. Now you take the hat off and he's an ape, but you put the helmet on and it's a costume that literally was recycled in the Cantina scene in Star Wars, if you know where to look for these guys. Also got a Dr. Zeus, not so much for the Star Wars movie, but because in the Richard Pryor Cantina skit, you could see some aliens that were dressed in Star Wars masks from the neck up, and this style of Planet of the Apes costumes from the neck down.
Did you get on that hairdo? Hey, excuse me. I told you don't touch me. That's your type. You already. You got a lot of heart, you know that?
And then I had to customize this guy. We'll talk about this in a future video. But I had done it before in the Power of the Force 2 style, or maybe Power of the Jedi style. But there's an alien, John and I talked about this in the previous videos, in the Cantina who's wearing Bossk's flight suit. So I'd done him like this, and then I saw where people were doing it as a vintage style custom using Bossk's torso and the Luke X-Wing arms and legs. So I had done that. Just it's spray paint on figures. It actually cost me more in parts and paint to do this than if I bought the custom one, but I couldn't find the helmet, so I just have to take that off of this other figure temporarily to make him, put him together. And when I did that, I discovered that the donor head I had used for this version years ago was Jake Lloyd Anakin Skywalker from The Phantom Menace, which really cracks me up, but it's a perfect fit under that helmet. So, boom, there it goes. Then while I was getting stuff, I thought, you know, you gotta have a Wolfman for the Cantina. Well, the cheapest Wolfman I could find online was actually a Wolfman, a mummy, and a Gillman, creature from the Black Lagoon. So threw those two guys in there. Not quite so sparsely populated anymore. I mean, this is the monster rally of George's dreams, to steal a phrase. But after I posted the picture on my Facebook, Casey Lucia, or Lucia, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, commented that he loved the Metaluna Mutant. So I went looking for the book, and I knew this guy was mentioned in this book, but had forgotten completely that the Wolfman and the Gillman were also mentioned on the same thing. So I reckon now I got to find a Boris Karloff as Frankenstein, but in the meantime, I do have him as the Mummy. So now I need to put some of these vintage figures back where they belong. So Zach, if you would be so kind as to bring me that Darth Vader case. Thank you so much. You can step on in the shot if you want to. I said put on a good T-shirt and come be in the video. That's the T-shirt he chose. So apple does not fall far from the tree. All right, here, hold this up for me. All right, now this is one of numerous cases of mine. I know you're thinking, wait a minute, a Darth Vader case doesn't hold enough figures for the 100 you claim to have. It only holds 31. You're right. So this is case number 1, and it's marked Star Wars 77 to 79. Well, I shouldn't have put 77 on there because the figures didn't start coming out until 78. I've discussed that before. They weren't ready. They did the early bird thing. They didn't actually ship them until after Christmas. So, and then this tells you how long I've had this fake divider in there to keep figures from banging heads. I used to not have a divider in there, and I noticed that my Hoth Princess Leia was directly across from a Darth Vader, and she started having these black marks on her forehead where they would bang heads when I would close the case. So this is actually a box from a wooden dollhouse. I've never put together a wooden dollhouse in my life, so I'm thinking that must have been something my dad did for my niece. But anyway, I took the box and cut it up and made just an insert for myself. And it's got a chart here of where each figure goes. But let's get a little look at what this all looks like in here. Hold that kind of sideways there for me. All right, so you've got Han, Leia, Luke, Ben with a gray beard, Ben with a white beard, 3PO, the other Han with the big head, that's the Han with the small head, Chewbacca, you got R2 from the Droid Factory, R5D4, C3PO. The reason there's two 3POs is this one was a replacement after my original R2 and 3PO were stolen out of my desk at school one day, and I never felt like he was as gold colored as my previous one. So this one is almost red gold compared to, that's a very pale yellow gold. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick that up. But finally, years later, I did get one that was the red gold kind of 3PO. Very, very tight joints on this one. So he is actually kept in there with a piece of foam and a tray from an action figure bubble is in there to kind of protect him as much as possible from rattling in this case. And the foam is from the West End Games role-playing miniatures for Star Wars. It's a little piece of blue foam that came in those. All right. Death Star droid. Couple of X-Wing pilots here. I'm not sure why there are two. I don't think there's a variation or anything. I might have just had one in the case and one was on the shelf, and I wound up putting both of them in there. Got all the accessories there for them. Jawa's power droid, couple of empty spaces here, couple of stormtroopers, couple of Death Squad commanders. Boba Fett has made it into the 77 to 79 case somehow. And I'm not entirely sure why I did that. That might have been after the special editions. A couple of Tusken Raiders and Darth Vader. And these empty spaces here are where the Cantina folks are going. This one says Walrus Man. And then this Walrus Man, let's take his gun out of his hand. I guess he goes on top of that Walrus Man. And then, where'd Greedo go? Alright, we'll take his gun. He goes here. We'll take Hammerhead, put him right there, and then we'll take Red Snaggletooth. Did I get Hammerhead's gun? Yeah, 4 guns. Okay. And then Red Snaggletooth being short, I've got him in one of these little pieces right there on the corner. So we'll take their guns and put them in the baggie. And Blue Snaggletooth, his position is right next to Red Snaggletooth. And I've even got a label there that says Snaggletooth parentheses blue. So that is an indication that the labels in this particular case are custom labels that I printed myself. Kenner never would have put a Blue Snaggletooth name on there. As I say, that's a fan-made name. Lots and lots of Jawas in here. Not all of them have their cloaks, but I think there are cloaks stored in the original spot for guns. So at least 3 cloaks are in here. And a Ben Kenobi cape cut down to be a vinyl cape for a Jawa. I don't have a real vinyl cape Jawa. I wish I did. So eventually what I'd like to do is replace the handwritten diagram with like a top-down photo of each end of the case, print it one on one side, one on the back side, like what came with it in the day, but showing specifically which figures of mine I've assigned to which positions in these cases. And my maternal grandmother would find cases like this at yard sales and things and pick them up for me in the 80s and the 90s, probably into the 2000s. She was going, here, I found another one of those Darth Vader cases. I wound up with 6 of the things. So some of them had broken latches, some of them had missing struts on the inside, but from those I was able to piece together 3 really good ones and 3 that I didn't mind customizing. So like I've got a case where some of the walls are cut out to accommodate some larger items. May show that in a future video. So, but yeah, pretty cool. This is case numero uno of Darth Vader. And it's, like I say, one of the ones with 3 good latches. Shouldn't have put 77 on there. It should just say 78, 79. And then Zach's choice of shirt goes well with that. Okay, we had a slight glitch with the camera where it overheated. And I took that time to clean this and take the silver paint off of the pegs and everything. Again, just using some Goo Gone on a Q-tip. And then with, to get the Goo Gone off, then I just did a light soap and water. Not getting it onto these 2 stickers here or onto these 2 stickers here, but everything else I cleaned off and everything. Which brings to mind another story, talking about grandmothers and talking about stickers on a Cantina. When I got the original Cantina in like 1978, 79, It was my grandmother who bought it for me. And she had a habit of buying me something that was going to be for my birthday or whatever upcoming holiday, right? And then she would let me go ahead and have it and play with it. So by the time my actual birthday rolled around, we had to do this little dog and pony show for the benefit of the rest of my family, where I had to act like I had not been playing with that toy for months. So the day that, oh wow, look, I got the Cantina, I pantomimed that I was going to reach inside the box of the Cantina and apply the decals hidden from view for no reason. Like, I did this in front of my sister. My sister was there. I don't remember my parents being there. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna reach in there and go ahead and put the decals on it, and then slide it out with the decals that had been on it for months, you know. So yeah, I was a deceptive young child, apparently. But I have a vivid memory of that. She did. So I know this was bought by my grandmother. I know that she got me the 12-inch Luke Skywalker, 12-inch Darth Vader, 12-inch Boba Fett. What they called the large-size action figures, because they didn't dare call them dolls.
Star Wars large-size action figures.
And I'm trying to think specifically what else were her contributions to my collection. But yeah, my paternal grandmother gave me the Cantina. My maternal grandmother gave me a bunch of Darth Vader cases after the fact. After I was an adult, she gave me some extra ones. So I guess I only had one, maybe two in the 80s. He's kind of dusty right there under his eyes. So, but then the reason that I have so many is because of another grandmother. So, all right, time to put these guys away and start prepping for the next installment, which is probably going to be about other things that you display action figures on. I hinted at that in the previous videos, but I haven't actually got it filmed yet. Just stole 31 action figures from me. Damn. It's like my baby Grogu all over again. Thanks for watching.